Welcome to Leadership Lunch number 6. At this point in our journey to creating greatness, we're going to stop and review some of the major concepts that we've covered so far in our leadership lunches. So going back to our first leadership lunch, at this leadership lunch we introduced the system or the equation E plus R equals O. Again, reviewing very simply, the E is the event, which we do not control. The R is our response, which we do control. The quality of our response influences the outcome that we get. We do not control the outcome, but if we give a positive response to the event, we're more likely to get a positive outcome. If we give a negative response, we're more likely to get a negative outcome. So that's the basis of the whole system. From there, in Leadership Lunch number 2, we talked about what it means to be great as we are trying to create greatness. Greatness in its most simple form is the best version of you in everything that you do. If you're in athletics, it would be the best version of you at home, in school, in the community, in athletics, and in the weight room. If you participate or you're focused on other activities, you can replace athletics and the weight room with something that leads you to success in that other activity. But home, school, and community would always be a significant part of it. Now, in the process of creating greatness, simple question is, how do you do that? How do you create the best version of you in everything that you do? And it's pretty simple. It comes down to making today better than yesterday and tomorrow better than today. If you go through life doing that, you will create the best version of you. This can be taken down to a smaller level of a sporting event, for example, and make this play better than the last play. Make the next play better than this play. If the team does that, you're more likely to be successful as a team. From there, we talked about discipline and being above the line. Discipline, again, is not somebody telling you what to do and then punishing you if you don't do it. Discipline is having that internal drive, that internal motivation to just do it on your own. Doing it when nobody else is looking. If you are acting with disciplined behavior, you're intentional in what you're doing, you're purposeful, and you're skillful. On the other side, if you're responding below the line, we call that default behavior. That's impulsive, that's autopilot, and that's resistant. From there, we take the above the line concept, and we talked about having 2 routes or 2 paths that you can go. It doesn't matter, get better. Whether you win or lose, win by a lot, lose by a lot. Ultimately, you have to get better. There's always 2 routes that you can go. If you are acting with above the line behaviors, you're going to analyze your strengths and your weaknesses, and you're going to then minimize your weaknesses while you maximize your strengths through practice, so that way you can have a greater chance of winning the next competition. If you're acting with below the line or default behavior, you're going to blame, complain, and defend when you lose, and brag and gloat when you win. The default behavior is going to result in you more likely losing the next competition, while the disciplined behavior is going to result in you more likely winning the next competition. So those are some of the basic or main concepts that we've covered so far. When we come back to our next leadership lunch next week, we'll start looking at the skill of responding in a positive manner through a step approach. And we'll be starting with the first step, which is pretty simple: press pause. So have a great day, have a great weekend, and I will be back next week.